Now we turn our attention to an extremely important affix, suprasiddha pratyaha, and that is a pratyaha which is termed nishtha. Nishtha is the name, is a sanya, which is given to these two affixes, kta and ktavatu. This is a very important section, so please pay special attention because it will be extremely useful to know these affixes. When you compose sentences, when we speak, when we read, these affixes are used everywhere. For example, Bhagavad Gita, very first verse of the Gita, Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yutsavaha, that's samaveta, sam ava ita, there's a pratyaya, nishtha pratyaya, kta has been used there. Even in the second verse, Anjovacha drishtva tu pandava nikam vyudhan duryodhanastada vyudham, that's also nishtha pratyaya has been used there. This nishtha pratyaya is used very frequently in the language. So if there's one affix in the language which is used most frequently, I would say it is this one, nishtha. Of course, there are many affixes are used in a variety of places, but this one is used a lot. So please pay extra attention because this is where you get the most bang for the buck, so to speak. Okay, let us start this discussion by defining what is nishtha, and that sutram is 1126. 1126. Ktaktavatu nishtha. It's a sanya sutram. It defines the name, defines the term nishtha, and the vritti simply says etau nishtha sanyau staha. Etau nishtha sanyau staha, which means that these two affixes, kta and ktavatu, get the name, get the sanya, get the designation nishtha. Now, of course, Panini defines the term so that he can use the term in various rules, and this term nishtha is used in a variety of places. One sutram which we are going to study immediately next, which is a sutram which is nishtha 32102. One warning here is that the same sutram nishtha is repeated in the Ashtadhyayi in another place. That is 2236 nishtha. This is in a completely different context. But that sutram nishtha occurs in the Ashtadhyayi in two places. Just as we have seen, sutram tehe appears in two places, tres trayaha appears in two places, and so on. So this nishtha sutram which we are going to study next, which is 32102, but is also sutram nishtha in a different context in 2236. Not only that, Panini uses nishtha again in other important rules such as 8242, radabhyam nishthato nah purvasya chadaha. 8242, also 6452. Nishtayam seti, also 7214. Shvidito nishtayam. So these are all these important rules and others also where Panini uses the term nishtha. So it's very important to know what nishtha stands for. Nishtha simply stands for these two affixes kta and ktavatu. Now in both these affixes, the initial kakaraha is it by lashakvatadhite, and the ending ukaraha of ktavatu is also it by upadeshe janunasika it. In the sutram 1126, taktavatu is prathama dvivachanam, so that is why you see taktavatu, the dirghantam. It's declined like guru shabdaha. So guru guravaha. So this taktavatu is prathama dvivachanam, but the affix itself is ktavatu, ending in the rasva ukaraha. That ukaraha gets the sanya by upadeshe janunasika it. Now the purpose of having kakara as an it is well known to us. It is to stop gunavruddhi by 115 kniticha, to do some prasaranam by 61 15 16, and these operations which are kitkaryani. There are others also. So we have seen these operations which require there to be a kakara as a it. So that is why Panini uses that it in this affix kta as well as ktavatu. Now in the ktavatu, the ukara as it makes it a ugit. The ktavatu is a ugit. And that is to facilitate operations such as 7 1 70. Ugidacham sarvanamasthane dhatoho. Ugidacham sarvanamasthane dhatoho. So ugit. So that is for the num agamaha. 7170. We of course going to see examples of these as we go along. But for right now, let's just mention why these specific it letters have been used by Panini. Another place Panini says Ugitascha, which is 416, informing the feminine forms. Ugitascha 416. So these are the places where Panini needs to have this uk as a it in the affix ktavatu. Now one important thing here is that after removing the it letters, we get the form ta and tavat. Now both these affixes begin with a val letter. The takara is a val letter. Of course, val means any consonant except the yakara is a val. So what does that mean? That means that we have to watch out for the idagamaha. And both these affixes have the sanya of ardhadhatukam by ardhadhatukam sheshaha. 34114. So we have to be alert to always check for the id agamaha by ardhadhatukasyed valadehe. Ardhadhatukasyed valadehe. And I might as well make a mention right here is Panini has 21 rules. 21 ekavimshati sutrani just for stopping the idagamaha nishtayam, and they start from 7 to 14 shvidito nishtayam and go all the way up to 7 to 34, right before 7 to 35. So up to 7 to 34 this anuvritti of nishtayam goes. So it is worthwhile noting right here that these complexities of the idagamaha are going to be important when we study this affix kta and ktavatu. So make a note of this, 7 to 14 to 7 to 34. We'll take examples as we go along. Now between these two affixes kta and ktavatu, the only difference is that ending vatu. Otherwise all yangakaram etc. the forms will be exactly the same in both, except that you have to add this vat when you use the affix ktavatu. Otherwise all yangakaryam will be exactly the same. There will be no difference at all. So that's the good news, is that you don't have to repeat angakaryam again when you add ktavatu. So whatever angakaryam you do when the form is derived using the affix kta, the same angakaryam takes place when the affix ktavatu is used. Only thing is that the form will be different. Of course, you just have to add that vat at the end. So whatever form you get with kta, just add vat to that, and that will give the form with ktavatu. When we say form, we mean the pratipadikam here. The pratipadikam, the declension of course will differ, but as far as the pratipadikam is concerned, the only difference is adding the vat when we use the pratyaya ktavatu. Okay, so these two important affixes we are going to now study in quite detail, and that will help us in composing many sentences and also reading and interpreting many texts